My colleagues have given you the basis for you to see where your oversight responsibility lies. Yesterday we talked about our roles and responsibilities, but also yesterday we benefited from what Bruce said about how the U.S. system works. And I'll just take one example from there from yesterday to ask you as parliamentarians. Which of you, in your positions in your country, will be able to write the president of your country and tell the president, I'm not inviting you to come and deliver your State of the Union address unless you meet these conditions?
In Africa.
Exactly. Exactly. Because of the U.S. recognizes what the roles and responsibilities are. Everybody is educated to that. Everybody is informed about that. And because of that, that speaker who spoke is not going to seek patronage favors from the president, and therefore she can speak exactly what the law says. So I will hope that as we begin to think about our roles and responsibilities as we go back, we will begin to see what are those things that are practical that we can use to the benefit of our people and also to the benefit of ourselves as well. So I'll just briefly try to give you just a few little bullet points from where I sat and engagement that I've had with parliamentarians and all of the experiences that you have presented for us to see how we can share each other. To oversee something in which you are sitting in a group, you must attend. What is your attendance role in Parliament? Of the days of the week. So you need to go to Parliament, you need to go to session. You need to know what is happening. What is the level of awareness of the roles and responsibilities of the agencies that you are trying to oversee? Do you know what is the constitutional roles of those agencies as stated in your constitution or the statutes that created those agencies? So you need to maintain an abundant awareness as you prepare to go and execute your oversight responsibilities. And don't be afraid to engage. Don't be intimidated by the Minister of Defense or the Inspector General of Police. A normal visit is fine. You stop by, call her up, develop a rapport and a relationship to enable you to perform your job, because you're not working in an environment like in Washington, D.C. You work in an environment where the executive is pretty much the supreme authority of the three branches. So one has to be able to make yourself more functional by finding a strategy that works. So that strategy of engaging, of knowing the Minister of Defense, knowing the role and responsibility of the Inspector General of Police or the Customs Commissioner will help you to understand what are those challenges they are facing. For an example, where you are hearing from the media or other locations that there is a water problem or electricity problem in some of the military facilities or security facilities or the locations where the agencies work. You could communicate with the minister that, look, I'll be more than willing to review your budget in a more practical way if I have the chance with my committee to come and see what is the situation on the ground. So it is you reaching out to perform your duties, but also at the same time to make your country a little bit more functional. If a decision has been taken by the executive, for an example, that involves the military or the police or customs or security, monitor their implementation as to whether those decisions taken by government are properly being executed. So if you are able to monitor it and make them accountable for it in a respectable way, I believe that your oversight responsibilities will be something that is easier and practical. And open your minds, maintain an abundant awareness of what the society is saying, what the media is saying, what are your constituents complaining about, what are the people saying with regards to the performance of those agencies. It will help you in the oversight responsibilities. If you sit in Parliament from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, to the beginning of the week, to the end of the week, the chances are you may not know exactly what is it you're supposed to be overseeing. So engage that minister. How many of you, when you are invited to a function of the agency's concern, do you attend? when the Inspector General of Police is having a function, or the Custom Bureau is having a function, or the Minister of Defense is having a function at one of those locations for the military activities, and you are invited, do you normally attend? If you do normally attend, use that opportunity to engage with the Minister of Defense or the Custom Commission at the time, or the Inspector General of Police at that occasion, so that you begin to build a rapport to help you to be able to do your work. And then if there's something that is going on that you don't have enough information, seek clarification. Ask questions. Don't be antagonistic, but at the same time be firm in the need to know so that you can be able to go back to brief your constituents. And if the need be, you call for a hearing or so that there can be a parliamentary investigation on the specific subject matter. You have to be practical in an environment in which there are challenges that may restrict you from performing your duties. And like we say, sometimes give it to them and they will not take it. I'll give you a good example. When I was the Minister of Defense and I was going to Mali to visit the Liberian troops, I sent a message to the Chairman on Defense from the House and to the Senate, and told them that it would be a good thing for them to go and see a welfare visit of our troops in Mali. Did the chairman of the House take up the offer? No, he chose not. He waited at the last minute. And he was reading about Mali and heard about the acts of terrorism and the danger, and he chose not to go. And his deputy decided to go. And did the Senate go? Of course not. But the chairman of the Senate decided to go. And they went, and they came back strengthened to be able to discuss and engage. So that when he speaks, he's speaking from a position of awareness, and he's much better prepared to be able to come and question me as Minister of Defense, given what he has seen. So call their bluff. When he says, okay, let's go to where our troops are located or deployed, he's not going to put you in danger, because his life is also on the line. Call her bluff, or call her bluff, and go there. That's part of your oversight responsibility. Don't stay away. But there are tools that you can use to help you to get there. I call those strategic tools. They're available to you. One of those tools, in fact, got you where you are. Your electoral constituents. They elected you. They send you to Parliament. So use them. Go to them. Let them tell you what are their concerns on those specific issues. Talk to them and engage them. Many a times we wait for 6 months and then we make one visit. We'll call a small forum, and that's the end of it, and we'll leave. We'll come back 5 months later. You will not get to know the power of those constituents because you see them once or twice a year. So when you speak about a specific issue or agency, people may or people may not listen. I'll give you another example. There is a parliamentarian, we call him a senator. I mean, he may have all of the best qualities that you will look of a senator, but he's a senator, he's elected. So one has to respect the will of those who elected him. And he goes back home and meet his people and talk to them and come back and sit in Parliament and take a position. And the government listen to what he has to say. Because whenever, for the 2 elections they have gone in, he has won over 80%. He wins all the time. And if you, as a future presidential candidate, won the votes from that part of the country, and he is not on your side, you're not going to get that vote. So you can use your constituents as this basis of strengthening yourself to exercise that oversight. Because then the ruling parliament, the ruling party, have to recognize that you, that parliamentarian, can give them the votes. So they need to find a way to have a cooperative relationship in that particular regards. Secondly, you can also use civil society. It's a very research tool, very, very available to you. Engage them on specific issues that you are concerned about with regards to a specific agency. By engaging them, you get to understand the research that they have already done that benefits you that you can take to the agency concerned in that particular regards. And of course, the media. Nowadays, things that you consider secret, it's not a big secret. In your country, maybe the government says it's a secret for you to know how many tanks they bought. Well, if you Google Germany, they will tell you exactly how many tanks their country bought, if that is where they bought it from. So what is the secret? So there's actually no secret. So you have to maintain an awareness of what your country is involved in so that you can use that information that they are hiding and give it to them. Say, oh, by the way, even though you told me the secret, but here, Google just told me that you actually bought 9 tanks instead of 23. So it is possible that you can utilize the media to help strengthen your oversight responsibility. And like I indicated earlier, as part of your responsibility is to engage and review the budget. The budget comes every year. They're going to come to you. So use that opportunity to let them and remind them. Let them know that, look, I know that you have an issue of uniforms. I think it might be good we begin to talk about that now. Definitely he or she will come. Because uniform is something that the troops or the service member will need. So you can use that opportunity to begin to engage them on that. And then, how many of you talk to your colleagues in Parliament on specific issues? You sit next to each other and listen to the speaker. But how many of you share the concern that you have with regards to the agency that you're trying to oversee or the activity you're trying to oversee? So you build an internal rapport, an internal support between you and your colleagues so that when the time comes, as a member of that committee, that individual will share your views at the same time. So that both of you are better prepared when you go to meet the member of the executive whose function that you're calling. And I would say to you, if the constitution in your country, like mine, gives what we call the first branch, which is the legislature, gave you that authority, you have to find a strategy on how to make that authority to be properly exercised. And one of the ways to do it, or the ways to do it, is what I've tried to present to you. That your roles and responsibilities are there, but you have to find a way to get into the legislature to be able to make that happen. President Sirleaf was very practical in dealing with the legislature. What did she do? She worked along with the speaker, she worked along with the president pro temp, but eventually the speaker realized that he had enough power in the legislature. And because of that, there were constructive engagement and disagreement with the government on policy issues, on issues regarding signing and ratifying agreements, on issues regarding signing concession agreements. So you too, if you can build that internal rapport with your colleagues on specific matter, if you can maintain an abundance awareness of the subject matter, if you can utilize the tools of your constituents, of the media, of civil society, it is very important to you. It'll be very relevant for you to be very successful in your engagement. So I thought it was important that as you look at your roles and responsibilities as parliamentarians, whether it's making laws, whether it's advocating for something, it is also very important that internally you begin to build a rapport with your colleagues and to maintain an abundant awareness of the agencies that you're going to oversee, to know what are those agencies that are doing. And the ways to do it, the tools are available to you. And lastly, on the issue of secrecy. You go to talk to the Minister of Defense. Normally he presents secret to you first. Oh no, that's national security, I can't speak about it. So absolutely, I fully agree with you. I understand it's national security that you can't talk about it. And so let me know if you need to buy more stuff for next year, I'll be in a position to help you with your budget. And he said, oh yes, in fact, we were thinking of getting more, APCs and more M16 and more LAR. He said, oh, but then that's great. So far as I'm concerned, I think last year or 2 years ago, we were able to get you 10 APCs. Is that correct? He probably might tell you yes. And they said, but perfectly. I'd like to see the kind of APC you want. Let me know how it functions. Does it work well? He might tell you yes. Okay, great. I'll be more than available if you can show me how it works so that I can come back to Parliament and talk to my colleagues. What are you trying to do? You are trying to build a relationship where there is mistrust. Because there's a suspicion that as parliamentarians, you go out and just talk. Because you're politicians and know what you do. But if you build a trust and a breach in a relationship, I think it will help you in your oversight responsibility. Thank you.